The story begins in the Royal Academy, where we meet a boy named Alto who is told that he has failed his summoning exam, and if he is unable to make a deal with a familiar by the next day, he will have to repeat the year. Alto meets his childhood friend Lilia, who is shocked to hear that Alto may have to repeat the year even though he has scored 100 out of 100. Alto tells her that he still has 1 day left and he will make one last attempt. He goes to the library for help. Suddenly a book falls from the shelf and hits Alto's head. Surprisingly, it was an old summoning book. Alto takes the book home and follows the rituals written in it. The summoning spell gets activated and Alto offers his blood. The summoning is successful and a demon named Vermal is summoned without clothes. They both make a deal and Vermal kisses him. She gains his respect. She tries to woo him, but Alto refuses and asks her to wear clothes. After this, Alto gets confused as to why a demon became a familiar of a human, because in history it was taught about demon sons that they always destroy human. Vermal tells him that she is made in the book and as a token of gratitude she will serve him for freeing her. Next day, Alto introduces Vermal as his familiar in front of his teacher. Vermal hides her horns and tail so that she looks like a human. Initially, the teacher does not believe that Vermal is his familiar because there is no record of a human being having a familiar, but Vermal shows her familiar crest, so the teacher has to accept and he passes Alto. Lilia is watching them from a distance and she starts getting jealous of Vermal. During the class, Vermal is sitting in Alto's lap hugging him. The teacher tells her that such behavior is not right for school, hearing which Lilia gets happy. But Vermal points out that all the students are sitting with their familiars, and moreover it is clearly written in the school rules that the student should stay with his familiar throughout his life. The teacher is unable to answer this and Lilia finds it difficult to accept this. After the class, Lilia confronts Alto. She does not like Vermal and she challenges Alto for a duel. If Lilia wins, Vermal will stay away from Alto, but if Alto wins, Lilia will have to obey one of his orders. Both of them go to a platform built in the sky and their duel is broadcast to the rest of the students. Lilia summons her familiar spirit, which is a high-class wind spirit. Seeing this, Vermal is surprised. Lilia combines her wind magic with her familiar and launches a powerful attack on Alto. Vermal comes in front of Alto and takes that attack directly on himself. When the dust settles, we see that nothing has happened to Vermal. Then Vermal takes revenge and does such magic, which makes Lilia so aroused that she accepts defeat because Otto has won. He orders Lilia to become Vermal's friend. Later, Vermal tells Alto that Lilia loves him, but Alto doesn't believe her. Vermal kisses him to replenish her mana and says that if he doesn't get the mana she will disappear. Then she tries to woo him again, saying that there are other ways to replenish mana, but Alto stops her and says that just kissing will be enough. The next day, when they are going to school, everyone is watching them. Alto tells Vermal to keep a low profile so that they don't get noticed. Suddenly a dragon creates a stampede on the way, but Vermal stops it with just one click. Otto notices that everyone is staring at Vermal and scolds her, asking why she is attracting so much attention. The headmaster welcomes the students to the second year and Alto attends his class. Lilia is still jealous of Vermal for sticking to Alto. After school, Lilia asks to go home with him so she can keep an eye on Alto and Vermal. On the way, they are confronted by two students who were the owners of the dragon that Vermal defeated, and his older brother Rex, who came to take revenge on Vermal. But while they are busy talking, Alto sneaks up behind them and imprisons them in the crystal prison. Rex summons his familiar and breaks the crystal prison. Rex is a 5th-year student and has summoned a dinosaur. Rex sends his familiar to attack, but Vermal supercharges Alto's mana. Alto launches a powerful crystal magic attack and defeats Rex. After returning home, Vermal asks Otto what he wants in life. She also offers to make him rich, but Otto says that he wants to become a great mage. He explains that there are 4 ranks of mages in this world: apprentice, bronze, silver and gold, but his target is to become a platinum rank mage. Vermal promises that she will help him in fulfilling his dream. The next day, Alto and Vermal meet their friends Lilia, Marx and Cheryl. Marx is from a noble family and he is very impressed to know that Alto defeated a 5th-year student. Their teacher comes and tells that the headmaster has called them. The headmaster says that to decide which one of them will become the student representative of the class, they are given a special trial. Whoever brings a fairy flower from the forest will become the class representative. Marx summons his familiar, a beetle French Yos, and quickly runs towards the forest. However, in the forest, On the way, a human-eating plant attacks her and Cheryl stays behind to help her. The rest of the people move ahead to find the flower and see that it is on top of a mountain, but a Cerberus is sleeping at the entrance. Lilia has an invisibility potion and she plans to use the potion to sneak past the Cerberus. Alto worries that the Cerberus will still find out about her presence there by her smell, but Lilia points out that the Cerberus has a cold so she will be able to sneak past. Lilia takes the potion and becomes invisible, but her clothes are not invisible. Lilia starts getting nervous that she will have to take off her clothes in front of Alto, but she had no other option. When Lilia goes to the Cerberus, Alto remembers that this is a competition. Vermal tells him that she can defeat the Cerberus easily, but for that she will need his mana. Lilia stealthily sneaks past the Cerberus. She tries to get out, but all her faces turn sick and Cerberus sees her. Alto destroys Cerberus and asks Lilia to take the flower. As Cerberus runs towards Alto, Vermal comes from above and unleashes her demonic powers. There is a big explosion and Lilia manages to catch the flower. She comes back and shows the flower to everyone and offers to give it to Alto, but then the effect of her invisibility potion wears off. Lillian gets shy and drops the flower. The flower flies in the air and goes into Cheryl's hand. Cheryl wins the position of representative and everyone congratulates her. While going to school, Vermal is eating a cream for the first time, which she likes very much. Now, since she was sealed for thousands of years, she had never tried modern food. Just then the students look up in the sky as a formation of dragons is passing over them. All the students praise Chris, the leader of the Dragon Riders. Vermal asks Alto. Alto asks who they are and Alto explains that they are the Dragon Riders, the same club that Rex is a part of. At school, they meet Marcus, Cheryl and Lilia. Marcus tells them how cool Chris is. Besides being the leader of the Dragon Riders, she is also the executive of the student council and one of the 7 gold ranks in the school. Alto is surprised to know that he is gold ranked even though he is a student. He wants to become like the student council president, which is considered very close to the platinum rank. Then Vermal puts both her Karen, Arjun on him, which makes him breathless and says that it is possible. Lilia quickly takes Vermal away from Alto and the two start fighting over Alto as usual. After class, Lilia talks to Cheryl in the changing room about her frustration with Vermal. She wonders if Vermal is even human. She remembers that Vermal defeated Cerberus in just one hit, which is very difficult even for a gold rank mage. Lilia starts doubting Vermal, and she swears that she will expose him. Cheryl understands that Lilia really likes Alto a lot, but on hearing this, Lilia panics and turns red with shame. Cheryl encourages her to tell Alto about her feelingless feeling. Meanwhile, Vermal, while following Alto, enters the boys' changing room and creates a scene. Alto gets embarrassed and Lilia gets jealous of Vermal again because Vermal got a chance to see Alto transforming. Alto tells them to keep a low profile so that they don't have any problems with the student council. Vermal tells her that she will beat everyone and Alto will soon be in the gold rank. They are talking while walking when the student council comes in front of them and the three quickly move aside as they pass by. Chris stares at Vermal and wonders who is this. Later Vermal sneaks into Alto's shower and tries to seduce him again. On the other hand, Chris beats up Rex because she finds out that he lost to Alto. Chris is ashamed of being a part of the Dragon Riders because her familiar is just a dinosaur and not a dragon. She beats him up more and expels him from the Dragon Riders. Alto finds out that Rex has been sent to the infirmary and goes to meet him. Rex's brother blames Alto for being the reason for him. Rex was expelled from Dragon Rider. Alto understands what must have happened. Alto quickly goes to the dueling platform with Vermal where Chris is waiting for them. Chris gives Alto a chance to back out of the duel but he is ready to fight. Chris calls his familiar and his dragon appears. Alto calls Vermal and she supercharges his mana and Lilia gets furious seeing this. Alto launches his crystal attack which impresses Chris a bit but she stops it with a single blast of her magic. She fires again and Vermal has to block the attack. When the flames go away, Vermal is fine although her hand was slightly burnt. Chris keeps throwing fireballs one after the other and Vermal blocks all the blasts and falls down. Alto tries to counter-attack with his crystal but Chris breaks them. Chris is impressed with Alto's skill but is even more surprised to see that Vermal can withstand her attacks. Vermal gives Alto more power so that he can launch a big crystal attack on Chris. The attack hits him and there is a big explosion. Alto breathes a sigh of relief as he thought that everything is over but Chris rides on her dragon and flies in the air and says that no one is above the dragon and she is the most superior. She rains fire walls from above while Vermal keeps shielding Alto and tells him to build his mana. To prove Chris wrong, Vermal supercharges Alto again and he launches a big crystal attack once again. Chris breaks it but does not see Alto using the pieces of crystal. Before Chris can react, Vermal jumps on Chris and Alto puts a crystal on his neck and wins the duel. All the students cheer for Alto and he becomes popular among the girls, which makes Lilia even more jealous. A teacher, Professor Obsidian, comes and lectures Alto. He tells Alto that he should not take duels lightly. He congratulates Alto for his victory and all the girls follow him as he leaves. Alto asks Lilia if she loves him too but Lilia feels insulted to hear this. Rex meets Chris and is surprised to see that Chris is doing her work himself. Chris apologizes to him but he is shocked to hear this. Rex takes the broom from her and both of them settle their fight. That night Vermal again tries to seduce Alto but Alto says that one should only kiss the person whom you love. Vermal says that she loves him. Hearing this, Alto is stunned. The next day Alto was worried while Vermal looked completely fresh. Alto remembers when Vermal said that she loves him and he turns completely red. He goes to meet Professor Obsidian and asks if a demon can love a human. Obsidian tells him that demons only love humans for their mana. During dinner, Alto asks Vermal if she loves him for his mana. Vermal hugs him and kisses Alto without draining his mana to prove her love. Vermal says that Alto should also try to kiss her, but he is unable to do so. The next day, Alto apologizes to Obsidian for his feelinglessness and his strange question. The professor is happy to know that Alto is feeling better now. Later, Obsidian meets the girl student in private. The girl says that she loves him very much and he hugs her, but Obsidian was holding a strange injection in his hand. Later, the girl is found frozen in her room. The news of this incident spreads like fire in the whole school. The girl is rescued but she is in a coma. The student council investigates the attack. Vice President Yoga Shinji and Executive Jessica discuss the incident and this was the third case when a student went into a coma. Later, Alto takes Vermal's body measurement because in the class they were given the task of writing a report about their familiar. Vermal takes off his clothes so that Alto can take his measurement properly and Lilia's familiar is watching them secretly. Lilia is outside Alto's room with Cheryl. Her familiar tells her everything and Lilia becomes furious. Lilia has an invisibility potion and a duplicate key of Alto's room. She leaves her clothes with Cheryl and enters the boys' dorm. She unlocks Alto's door and sneaks into his room. Alto comes straight in front of her, which scares Lilia, but Alto had just come to pick up a book. He accidentally picks up another book. He touches Lilia which makes her go crazy. Alto completes his report in which he lists the things that Vermal likes but Vermal writes Alto's name in that list. On the other hand, Chris and his dragon lose to Rex and his muted dancer. It seems that Rex has been possessed by someone. It is shown in the flashback when Rex met his familiar for the first time in the form of an egg. He was very happy to see his size and at the same time he also met Chris for the first time. Both were very happy to find the egg and they also become friends. In the present, Alto and Vermal are buying groceries. Vermal had to buy sweets but Alto tells her that he has less money. Vermal gets angry and starts throwing a tantrum sitting on the ground. Alto finally agrees and says that he will buy sweets for her. Vermal jumps with joy and hugs him while the rest of them are jealous seeing them. Vermal even kisses him which makes Alto angry. Chris gets embarrassed. Vermal doesn't understand what is wrong with Alto because he didn't listen to him. Suddenly Rex's brother comes there who looks scared and asks for his help. Rex was hitting Chris and Chris tries to fight back by firing his fireball at him. A big explosion happens but Rex swallows the fire. His body starts to grow and Rex summons a rock which throws Chris in the air. Rex puts his foot on Chris' face and scolds him and asks him to fight. Chris begs him to stop. Just then Alto and Vermal reach there and ask Chris to leave. Rex throws Chris to the other side and decides to take revenge from Alto because it was Alto who defeated him first. Chris asks Alto to stop and run away from there but Alto had come there to help him. Rex's power gets out of control and Vermal feels something familiar in his power. Rex is trying to kill Chris. Alto's hand glows and Vermal prepares to fight. Just then, Student President Elena arrives and attacks Rex and his dinosaurs with her sword, familiar, knocking them unconscious and ending their mutation. Elena checks on Chris, but is embarrassed that she lost to Rex. Rex tries to get back up, but collapses immediately due to the severe injuries. Chris runs to him, and Vermal still finds his powers familiar. However, when Elena asks him if he knows anything about Rex's powers, Vermal denies that he knows anything. The student council calls a meeting, noticing that this is the 5th incident and that they suspect someone is using drugs or black magic on the student. Chris is unable to tolerate this report and angrily walks out of the meeting. Jessica does not understand why Chris cares so much about Rex. In fact, whenever someone talks about him, she is shocked. Chris loses his mind when he messes with things. Meanwhile, Alto and Lilia are informed about their exam, which will be for Professor Frank. Alto is lost in his thoughts, but Lilia reminds him how important this exam is. Vermal tells Alto that she is tired, so she is going back to town. She leaves from there and Alto starts worrying about her because ever since their encounter with Rex, Vermal has been behaving a little strange. Lilia takes advantage of this opportunity and makes an excuse to spend time alone with Alto by taking the excuse of studying. When Vermal is going back to the dome, she meets Professor Obsidian. They talk for a while and Obsidian is surprised that she is roaming around without Otto. Vermal tells him straight away that she knows that he is behind all these incidents. Obsidian acts as if he has no idea what Vermal is talking about, but Vermal mentions that she can smell the smell of the low tire demon on him. She warns him to stop doing all this and says that this power is not enough for a human to handle. Obsidian asks if Vermal will open his Raz. Vermal says that it doesn't matter to her, but she warns him to stay away from Alto. Obsidian understands what Vermal is and accepts that his demons are much weaker than Vermal. Vermal moves forward when a flying paper comes in front of her and suddenly Obsidian comes behind her and injects his sins into her. Vermal pushes her away, but she starts feeling pain and dark energy starts coming out of her. Obsidian looks at her with dirty eyes with the desire that now he can have her. Meanwhile, Alto and Lilia are studying and Lilia tries to flirt with Alto. Suddenly Alto feels a sharp pain in his hand and his hand starts glowing. A big explosion takes place outside and Alto understands that Vermal is in trouble. He runs to find her. Everyone around the school senses the presence of dark energy. The sky turns dark and Alina also comes out, but she encounters a paper doll which she cuts into 2 parts with her sword. The doll heals itself and starts talking. It keeps multiplying itself and combines to form a huge creature which says that it cannot let Arena go ahead. Then Vermal transforms into a flying dimmer. Obsidian becomes very happy to see it. With a single stroke of his hand, Vermal releases such a terrible wave of energy that even Obsidian is surprised. Obsidian uses his magic and puts a magic chain around Vermal's neck so that he can control him. When Alto and Lilia reach there, Obsidian makes Vermal kneel down to show them his control over him. Alto gets scared seeing this and Obsidian says in command that he was the one who was attacking people and he was injecting them with demon essence to turn them into demon. Alto is shocked to hear this and Alto gets furious at the thought of losing Vermal. His energy reaches Vermal and Vermal suddenly breaks the chain and moves forward to attack Obsidian, but then Alto comes in between and Vermal's claws go through his chest. Alto's blood spreads everywhere and then we are shown a flashback when Vermal was sealed. She was alone in the darkness that stretches for eternity until a door opens and she meets Alto. As soon as Alto falls, Vermal transforms into an even more dangerous form. She attacks Obsidian again, but Alto stops her again. He calms Vermal and Vermal returns to her normal form while crying. Alto faints and Lilia gets scared. Vermal kisses Otto and heals the hole in his chest. Obsidian in return. Obsidian gets scared of the formula and injects it into himself. He transforms into a terrifying demon and calls himself the ultimate creation because he had absorbed many lower-level demon sons. His plan was to defeat Vermal and absorb his power. He attacks him with his drill punch, but Vermal replies to his punch with a punch that blows off half of Obsidian's body. Obsidian gets terrified seeing his power and tries to escape, leaving his body behind, but Chris comes on her dragon and blasts him and Vermal jumps from above and kills him, causing him to fall on the ground, and his demonic body vanishes. Alto regains consciousness and Lilia thanks him with tears of joy that he is fine. The monster with whom Alina was fighting runs away and says that they will meet again. Vermal apologizes to him for killing Alto, but Alto does not care because Vermal healed him and things got fine. However, Vermal sadly tells him that she had broken Alto's heart and to heal him she has given him a heart and their life forces are connected, so if one dies then the other will also die. Alto gets sad to hear this because this means that Vermal will now die with him, whereas she could live forever as a demon. Obsidian is arrested and Rex comes out of his coma and the rest of the students also wake up from coma. Later Alto and Vermal kiss because now Alto's heart will need Vermal's mana to work. Vermal starts behaving a little coldly with Alto and asks Alto what happened. Vermal says that her Mulcher form is her real form and Alto should stay away from her. Alto gets angry and says that he doesn't care about this and then kisses her. Vermal gets shocked and pushes Alto away. Alto says that he is not afraid of Vermal and they will always be together. Vermal agrees to him and Alto runs away from there feeling shy. Vermal remembers that Alto had said that you should only kiss the person you love. She understands that Alto has also started loving her and she also starts feeling shy. The next day in school, all the girls are mourning the departure of Professor Obsidian. while all the boys are sad because Vermal did not come to class. Alto tells them that Vermal was not feeling well. Outside, Lilia blames Vermal that he is a demon and he hid this thing from everyone. Vermal apologizes for lying and is sad that Alto has to face death because of him. However, Lilia doesn't care that she is a demon because she is not bad and her feelings for Alto are genuine. Lilia comforts her and says that she has full faith in Alto, that if Vermal ever goes out of control, he will handle her. Vermal comes back to Alto's room and apologizes to him again, but Alto is happy to know that she is fine, after which both patch up and kiss. The next day Vermal tries to wear the school uniform but it doesn't fit her properly. Alto was a little embarrassed to see it, but he was happy that Vermal is going back to school with him. On the other side, in a church surrounded by dead bodies, a platinum-level warlord Helio and a platinum warlord Iolite meet, who are communicating using paper dolls. Iolite laughs at Obsidian's defeat and calls him an idiot, although he was very interested in his research. A priest attacks them but a centaur familiar throws him away. All the boys in the school are impressed by Vermal's new look. The students are staring at Alto and the boys praise Alto for bringing Vermal back to the class. Suddenly the student council comes in the middle of the class and takes Alto and Vermal away. Alto gets worried that they might have found out that Vermal is a demon. He asks them why they have been detained. Alina apologizes to them that she could not help them in their fight with Obsidian. The student council wants to know more about the incident, but Obsidian had escaped from jail, so they wanted to get information from him. Alto agrees to help, but Alina asks if he is hiding something from them. They put a sword on his neck and Alto has no choice but to tell the truth. He tells that Vermal is a demon and their hearts are connected to each other. Hearing this, all the council members are shocked, but Alto claims that Vermal is not bad and he can go to any extent to save her. Jessica feels that Vermal has proved to be a threat to them. Maybe, but Alina trusted Alto and wanted to help him keep this a secret because she knew that if Vermal gets out of control, she could easily kill Alto. She then offers Alto the position of student council executive. Alto thought that she just wanted to keep an eye on him, but Alina reminds him how he defeated Chris in a duel. Alto doubts her motives, but he still agrees to join the council. When his friends find out about this, they are stunned. Marx is proud of him and Lilia congratulates him. Alto is worried that now that more people know about Vermal's identity, he will have to become more powerful to protect Vermal. Vermal tells him to be careful in the council because she thought that Alina might not be human. The next day, Alto attends his first council meeting and accidentally opens the door while the girls are changing clothes. Jessica gets scared, but Alina says that it was her mistake, that she did not lock the door. The meeting begins and Alina shows them the pieces of the paper doll she fought with. Chris tries to examine her, but Alina reveals that she has such a high level of magic that even a team of gold-ranked mages together could not find out about her, which makes them realize that their enemy is on Platinum 11. Meanwhile, Iolette and Helio kill the master platinum mage of the paper doll from Haku. Alto meets Helio, who was providing him with demon parts for his experiment. Alto complains that collecting demon parts is a hassle because the last time he had to face a high-class priest. Kuako asks if he was able to get the parts from him, but Alto tells him that he killed him. Kuko gets angry and Alto leaves from there. He tells Helio that their next target is Alto and Vermal. Alto has a dream in which a little Vermal is sitting in a destroyed city and crying. Then suddenly a woman appears in front of him who gives him the option of saving humanity or getting destroyed by saving Vermal. He gets nervous and suddenly gets up and goes to study because he was worried about his upcoming bros exam. Vermal tries to lasso him, but he tells that there is a lot of pressure on him from the council to clear that exam, especially from Riss. Vermal helps him in studying and supercharges his mana by kissing him. The next day Alto, while he was packing his things to take to the exam, he saw a book which had a vermilion seal on it and he started thinking who must have sealed it, and he started remembering his dream. He was asked to leave and in a hurry he takes the book with him. Lilia motivates them for the exam and everyone leaves. They were shining differently from the other students of the school because their school had a passing rate of 50%, which was much higher than the 10% of all those schools. All the students gathered in the hall for the exam and there was a small flame burning inside a big crystal ball. The examiner told them that to measure their mana, they just had to put their mana inside that flame and light it. The students get relieved because it did not seem so difficult to them, but Alto was sure that the test would not be limited to this. The first student comes but he is unable to move the flame. The next student comes with his big bear familiar but he is also unable to do anything. After this it is Lilia's turn and she explains how it is done. She focuses on the flame instead of the crystal and is successful in igniting it. However, after that another student comes and says that what is the big deal in this, and he also ignites the flame like her. After this, Cheryl also passes the exam and manages to clear the exam by fighting for marks. Alto is the last student and goes with Vermal. Alto analyzes the crystal and finds that it would be easier to pass it from behind. The examiner gets impressed to see that Alto has found out about the real exam. Vermal asks him to show off a little and he agrees that he is the best student. Due to an easy spot, the mind gets transferred from the most difficult spot, due to which the fire becomes so intense that it turns silver in color. The examiner gets shocked and keeps on pouring mind inside him until the crystal breaks. Alto gets very scared and apologizes to the examiner for breaking the crystal. However, the examiner tells that he has passed with full marks. Alto gets happy and celebrates with his friends, while the examiner says that breaking that crystal is very difficult even for a platinum level table. Alto and his friends take a break for lunch and Alto gets a little worried about the written exam. Marx shows her his six-sided pencil, which helped him clear the academy's exams. Lilia wonders if anyone has been able to score full marks in the exam. Cheryl tells that till date only one child has passed with platinum. He has been able to score full marks in all the exams till the level. Vermal encourages Alto and everyone gets ready to give the exam. To charge Alto's mana, Vermal takes him to the kopche and starts kissing him, but due to this, they get very late. While walking in the hallway, an elite student from another school passes by him. In the bathroom, that boy starts badmouthing Alto that how much he was showing off in the exam. Suddenly, Eyelight comes behind him and he gets scared. The boy ignores him and starts leaving from there, but Eyelight kills him right there. The boy falls on the ground and Eyelight steals his admit card so that he can enter the examination hall. Alto runs to the examination hall and reaches there on time. Familiar people were not allowed inside, so Vermal wishes him good luck from outside. Alto goes to his seat and sits down. And soon Eyelight also comes and sits next to him and wishes him good luck. Vermal is sitting alone outside and is getting bored and sees two boys talking. While doing the test, she hears that the test is going to be very difficult. However, she was not worried because she knew that Alto would pass the test easily. Alto is doing his test but gets distracted seeing Alot sleeping next to him. Alto tries to ignore her and focuses on the test. He sees that this time the test has been tougher than the previous one. Alot finally gets up and Alto starts worrying about him because he does not have time left to pass the test. However, Alot takes a look at the test paper and starts writing very fast and finishes the test in a few seconds. He looks at Alto's paper and starts teasing him for lagging behind. The teacher interrupts them for talking, but Alot does not care and says that this paper has no meaning because no one is going to pass. Suddenly the guard comes running there and reports about the dead body to the examiner. They understand that Alot is a real student. No. Then there is a huge explosion because the Islet had prepared an iron golem. He says that he took the test just for fun. His real motive is Alto. The professor tries to fight him but is crushed by the golem. Alto understands that it was the Islet who was working with obsidian. The old examiner comes and saves the professor. Vermal jumps out of the window and unleashes her demonic power and attacks the golem. The examiner recognizes the Islet as the youngest platinum mage, and tells that no one can stand before him. Lilia is thrown out and when they try to go inside, they find out that a barrier has been put on the building which was put by Helio so that no one can interfere. Alite takes out his magic wand and puts a cannon on the body of the golem. Alto and Vermal attack him but the golem withstands all their attacks and blasts them. The building is destroyed and Vermal is caught. Alto becomes very angry and golden mana starts overflowing around him. He uses a terrible crystal attack which destroys the golem in one stroke. Alto's power was increasing non-stop and he had vowed to save Vermal. Alite gets excited seeing this and kills many golems but Alto again turns all the golems into garbage dumps in one stroke. This shocks Alite. He charges his power and jumps towards Alite but Alite's knight stops him. Alto impales him on his sword. Alto asks what he wants from Vermal. Alite reveals his plan to destroy the world with Vermal's demonic power. Alto frees himself and rushes towards Alite, but Alite throws him on the ground. Just then an explosion occurs. Vermal transformed into her demonic form to fight Alite, but Alite binds her in her magical chain. With these chains, he seals her power and forces her to turn back into human form. Alto kept getting up again and again, so Alite decides to finish him off. His knight fires his energy blast at him. However, someone blocks his attack. The book in which Vermal was once sealed flies there and the same woman comes out of it whom Alto saw in his dream. She says that she is the memory of the first magician from the beginning, the same magician who sealed Vermal. Alite tries to attack, but she freezes time and Alto gets the memory of Vermal. Alto finds himself in a time period of 550 years ago and sees little Vermel playing happily. MAGE tells that Vermel was raised by a nun along with many other orphans. They lived like a family and Vermel was very happy. They knew that he was a demon, but it did not matter to them. One day the people of the town come to know that Vermel is a demon and they started blaming him for the disease spreading there. All the people gather in front of the church in anger. Her sister asks her to run away and she almost reaches out of the town, but then she hears people saying that they will kill her family. She comes back, but it was too late by then. She is shocked because they had crucified her family and the crowd surrounds her. She loses her temper and transforms into her demonic form for the first time. She kills everyone and burns the town to ashes. MAGE tells Alto that this was the crime she committed because of which she was sealed. Alto sees that he can talk to her and he hugs her. She turns back into her adult form and says that the crime she has committed can never be undone. However, Alto says that it doesn't matter to him and he will always be with her. They kiss and Vermel's chain breaks. They wake up in the real world where Alto says that he loves her very much. Vermel is freed from the Eyelight's magic. He is surprised that he was freed from his most powerful magic. Eyelight summons another golem and attaches it to his knight. He says that Vermel has only one purpose and that is to destroy the world. Alto tells her to keep her mouth shut. Because he doesn't know anything about the real Vermel, he combines his power with Vermel and launches his crystal attack, which rips apart his golem. Seeing their power, Eyelight gets serious and gathers his mana, but then Helio comes from his portal and says that she cannot maintain that barrier for long. Eyelight gets disappointed because he had no other option but to leave. He tells Alto that he will definitely return one day and finish what he has started. Then MAGE comes there and calls Vermel her close friend. She asks Alto to take care of her and after saying goodbye to them, she repairs the building and then disappears. Leah runs there and hugs Alto. After all this, Alto trains to become stronger so that he can protect Vermel in every situation. He learns sword fighting from Jessica and martial arts from Chris. He loses to both of them but promises to keep moving forward. In it, Vermel thanks Alto for accepting her and says that she also loves him very much. Alto was happy and then they both kiss. In the student council meeting, Alina says that keeping in mind the recent incident, they should work together and protect the students because they are up against platinum level majors. Lilia, Marks and Cheryl get their test results and they all pass. However, when they don't find Alto there, Lilia starts getting jealous that he must be doing something alone with Vermel somewhere, and she is right because Alto and Vermel are outside having fun, madly in love with each other. Friends, if you liked the explanation, then like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.